So the thing that I don't want to show you is this little pin right here. I don't know if you can see it. See that? Goes into that right there. And all I did is I pushed down on it. Now without the dash on there, there's no way you can push down on it. Maybe there's some special tool some of these guys got, but even once you push that, you got a little fan connector right there too. So I don't know, you might be able to get it out and on with the dash still on, but it's gonna be a real pain in the ass, so. I don't know. Y'all can take it for what you want, but if you break this housing right here, it's $1,100 right now in 2024 in the United States. I don't know about anywhere else, but. And then even still, you know, to get the evaporator out, you gotta take this off right here and drop it out. I don't know. I think it might just be easier just to take the whole dash apart. So as you can see, now I'm putting it back together. That's loose. So, but here's the secret that nobody wants to show you. They always cut their videos. And to get this thing out, this is what you gotta do. You see that right there? This pin right here, it's gotta go in that hole. And as you can see, it's got a little, I can't tell if it's picking it up. But you got a little ramp right there. And you gotta push that down to get it out of that hole. And that's what holds it up in here. So, I don't know if I can do this one-handed. All right, I don't know. I'm not gonna take it back apart again though, but I don't know if you saw that. But to get it out, you push that down right there and just pull it out. Now, of course, you got all this dash out. Normally, you're not gonna have, I mean, this is all gonna be covered up unless you take the dash apart. You may be able to take this center section out and get a tool, make you a tool to come up here and press that out. But I don't really know whether or not, you know, it's even worth it. All right, so something you gotta take into consideration here. So there's the pin you gotta pop loose to get the airbox off. And when I showed you earlier, all the venting, all the ducting was out of the way. So I guess if you had a tool, you know, because this is where your secondary glove box is. You take that secondary glove box out, and you know exactly where you're going. I guess you could probably make yourself a tool to pop that thing out. But even once you pop it out, to service the evaporator, to clean it or put a new one in, you got to take this box right here off, which doesn't give you a lot of room to play with. I seriously think that it's just quicker and easier to take the whole dash apart. You know, once you know how the dash comes apart, you can knock this thing out fairly quickly. So now that I know what I'm looking at, or looking for, I guess if you came right through here, I mean just barely, like with a coat hanger or something, yeah, I don't know if you can't get the little, if you come through, or right there, you can get up in there and you press the that pin down. So you can get this thing out of here without taking the dash out. I was wrong, but man, I don't see how it's easier. I think, you know, I mean, of course, you know, you wouldn't have that radio and all that out. You take this out right here, and you theoretically you can get it out of there, but I don't know. By the time you do that, I mean, if you just gotta take this airbox out for some reason, that's probably you know, a good way to do it. But if you're actually going after the evaporator to clean it, I mean, to flush it out or to change it, I don't know. I wouldn't. I think if I had to do it again, I'd still take this whole dash apart. Just because, I don't know, I'd have to try it, but when you take this out, there's clips in the back there too. I don't know. I mean, it's doable, but I think it's just easier. Once you know how this dash comes apart, just take the whole damn dash apart. I was just afraid that seeing how the lines to the, I mean, not even the lines, but the inlet for the evaporator is inside the dash. I was afraid if I flush it, everything was just going to feed back down in there. But if I ever had this again, instead of taking all that dash apart, I'd probably just fit some kind of hose in the hole or so. I'd come up with something and I would just flush it right there where it's at. Unless you know the thing is leaking, I would just leave it in there and flush it right there. So one thing I didn't show, I mean, I didn't realize until I was putting it back together after I had shot those videos. You can't see it, but there's one bolt that it's holding this glove box onto that metal bar back there. And so when you're putting this back together, if you take the dash apart, put this on before you put this dash piece on, because you will not be able to bolt it up. It still sits in there. I was not taking this thing back apart to put the one bolt in, but I had to take all this back loose right here and pop it all up to wet, because this lip goes over, there's a channel that this runs in. So you got to put this piece in before you put that piece on, before you put this over top of it. But what I was really wanting to show you is, so if you're just taking this dash apart, you're not going to be able to take this glove box out if you don't take the whole dash apart. But I did notice that most of the people who are saying that they take this box out without taking the dash apart, you know, they take this whole. So at any rate, if you take, you know, all this out right here where I showed you to stick the coat hanger, you can still get to from right here. But I'm still telling you, if you're a beginner, you're better off just taking out the whole dash. It'll be quicker and easier in the long run. You know, an old man told me a long time ago when I first started doing mechanics, if it's in your way, move it, remove it. And every time I've tried to work around stuff or fight with stuff, it always bites me in the butt. That guy's comment always comes back. So I'm telling you, as a helpful hint in mechanics, if it's in your way, you're quicker and easier just to remove it than to try to fight it and work around it. FYI too, when you pull these pieces out, it's got to come straight out. And when you pop it, your tendency is to want to roll it up. They will break very easily. I mean, you can get them all day long on the internet, but once you pop that thing loose there, you need to pop it loose from right there. Don't try to pull it from right there or right here. It will break.